Good morning, students. I welcome all students for session number 3 of software testing, testing levels and types. In the last class, we have discussed about different levels of testing, yes, and different approaches for testing. So different levels of testing, what we have discussed was unit testing or component testing, then integration module testing or integration testing, system testing, and the last one was acceptance testing. That is what we discussed. Then the different testing approaches what we have discussed in the last class was, what are the testing approaches? Can somebody want to tell me?
Static and dynamic testing,
Then
positive testing, negative testing,
yes, then
top down and bottom testing.
top down and bottom testing. So these were the three approaches what we discussed in the last class. Yes. Today we'll be discussing about the following contents. So like functional testing, what do you mean by functional testing? What do you mean by structural testing, mutation testing, confirmation testing, and regression testing? So these are the things what we'll be discussing in today's session. Yes. Yes. First one is functional testing. What do you mean by functional testing? So functional testing, yes, it validates the software system against the functional requirement. So your main requirements, we call that as functional requirement. Yes. So functional requirement. So whatever the functional requirements are there, yes. So that is what we are going to test it. That is what we call functional requirements. Is it clear? So important purpose. What is the purpose? Like for example, you have written a program to calculate the results of a particular student. So results. So result it should be there based on the percentage. So 75% about distinction, 60 to 75 first class, and so on. So the purpose is to calculate the result. So that is what we are going to test it. So that is what we call functional testing. Validates or checks the software system against the functional requirements. And it generates the test cases based on the functionality of the software. So based on the purpose or based on the what do you call the functionality, it generates the test cases. So we need to enter the value as per the requirement. Like for example, if you consider the results, so we need to enter the values for students what you can call having 75%, then having more than 60%, then more than 50%, and some student may fail in one subject, all subjects more than 75, one subject 0, or one subject, and you need to test whether the software is taking more than 100 marks, whether it is taking or not. You need to check that also. That out of 100, it should take maximum is 100. It cannot take 101. So all those things we need to test it. Yes. Next point, internal structure of the program is hidden from the testing process. How the internally the logic of the program is hidden from the testers will not know what is the logic, how it is being working and all. They just enter the value and then they will test it. That is all. So it is also known as black box testing. So functional testing is also known as black box testing. Is it clear? So the structure of the program, how the program works, what is the logic, what you have used, what data structures you have used, what do you call the constraints or what do you call data structures, the tester will not know. They will know only they will be entering the input and they'll be checking the output, or if there are any bugs in the program. That is their purpose. Is it clear? This functional testing is also known as black box testing. What you can call. So go through this slide, somebody.
Functional testing validates the software system against the functional requirement, generates test cases based on the functionality of the software. Internal structure of the program is hidden from the testing process, also known as black box testing.
So functional testing is also known as black box testing. The structure of the program is hidden from the testing process. So the test engineers need to enter the data and test the program. That's fine. That is what we call functional testing. Yes. Next is structural testing. What do you mean by structural testing? It generates test cases based on the knowledge of the program's internal structure. So in the functional testing, we call the structure was hidden. The structure is not known to the program, but in the tester. But in the case of structural testing, what you can call, it generates the test cases based on the knowledge of the program's internal structure. Like for example, there may be a for loop which is executed for 10 times or 100 times, yes, or how the program is being executed, that is what we call structure. We call, again, the structure can be at different levels. You can, before that, yes, the structural testing is also known as white box testing. Yes, so structural testing, we test the what do you call, the structure of the internal structure, how many times this particular loop is executed. Yes, what is the scope of that particular module or a function, something what we discuss that. So the structure of the program, it varies at different levels. So the structure can be a small program, we call that as a component level. Structure is the code. Then integration level, structure is a tree diagram where you're going to link number of modules, 5 to 6 modules, we call that integration level. And system level, it is a menu, a web page, or a business process. Entire software project, system level, we call structure is a menu, a web page, or a business process. So this is what we call the structure. So the structural testing, we test the internal structure of the program, how many times the loop is executed. Yes, what is the scope of that particular function, whether it is a component level or integration level or a system level. So we need to test all this structure of a program. So this we call a structural testing. Yes, somebody go through this.
Generates test cases based on the knowledge of the program's internal structure, also known as white box testing. Structure of the program varies at different levels. Component level, structure is the code. Integration level, structure is a tree diagram. System level, structure is a menu, a web page, or a business process.
Yeah, so the component level is the smallest. What do you call it? Can be a small code or a program, or main function or a sub function. Tree diagram is nothing but a main module. In that you may have sub modules and so on. Tree, as you study data tree or root node will be there, and so many child nodes will be there. Yes, the same. There will be so many modules linked together. That is what we call integration. System level is your entire program or a project. What you can call. That is what we call system level. We can call. So in the structural testing, we test the structure. It is also called as a white box testing. Now, the structural testing at component level, what we are going to test in the case of component. What do you mean by component level testing? In the structural testing, we're going to discuss about component level. What is this? Testing at this level can be categorized in the following ways. So in the component level, what we test, I told you, for loop. So for example, statement coverage. First one, what do you mean by in the component? We check all the statements has to be executed at least once. So statement coverage ensures that all statements in the program are executed at least once. So what is the, we're going to test, check in the, or test in the component level. We test that all the statements should be executed at least once. And some statement may be executed a number of times, where you may use a while loop or a for loop and so on. But what is the criteria? Every statement should be executed at least once. We call that as a statement coverage. All these things we are going to do in the case of what you call component level, what you call it. Yes. The next is condition coverage. Condition coverage ensures that the true and false outcome of each branching statement is executed. So condition coverage is nothing but if there is a condition, if X is greater than Y, so true. If it is true, which statement has to be executed? If it is false, which statement have to be executed? So when any condition statement is there or else part, yes, if or when it is true, some otherwise else some other part. So true and false, both the conditions will be there, and whether both the conditions have been executed or not, you need to check. In the case of branching, like if statement or maybe while statement and so on, yes, ensures that true and false. Usually we use if statement. Yes, true and false outcome of each branching statement is executed. Next. Path coverage. What does path coverage ensures? Ensures that each path is executed at least once. That path, whatever the path you might have given there, so that path should be executed at least once. That yes, each path. Suppose you want to execute a particular program which is somewhere else, you might have given a particular path there. Yes, so that path should be executed at least once. Then function coverage ensures that each and every function is called at least once. In the program, you may write so many functions. Like for example, in your data structure, you insert maybe one function, delete maybe one function, display maybe one function, or what you can call modification maybe one function. So like that, you may write to perform each function there. Yes. So same way, so you should ensure in the function coverage, you should check that all the functions are executed at least once. Some function may be executed a number of times. That depends on the application of the program. But what is the criteria? The criteria is that each function, each and every function should be executed or called at least once. So function is called, then the control will be transferred to that function, and the function will be executed. What you can call that? Yes, that is what we can call. So that is how that is what we are going to do in the case of component testing or component level testing. So in the component level, what we do, we check the statement coverage, condition coverage, path coverage, and function coverage. Yes. So every statement should be executed at least once. When there is a condition coverage, like if the if statement is there, when there is a true or false, so it should be, we should check that when if it is true also, some statements are executed, and if it is false also, some statements are executed. And path coverage, it should ensure that each path, there may be so many paths will be given there, at least once every path should be executed. And function coverage ensures that each and every function should be executed at least once. So somebody go through it.
Testing at this level can be categorized as statement coverage, ensures that all statements in the program are executed at least once. Condition coverage ensures that the true and false outcome of each branching statement is executed. Path coverage, this ensures that each path is executed at least once. In function coverage, this function coverage ensures that each and every function is called at least once.
Yes, so that is what the structural testing. The first one is component level. Next, we'll see what is that next one. Yes. So the structural testing at integration level, it is in the form of a tree. What we discussed is like various submodules at the module level are considered for preparing the the testing strategy as shown under. Like for example, the application module may be a root node. So this will be the child module 1, module 2, and again in module 1, module 3, and module 4. And here you may have module 5, and again in module 3, 6, and 7. 4 you may have only one module 8, and under 5 you may have module 9, and so on. It may continue. So you need to test every module step. So right from the parent node to all the children until you reach the leaf node, what you can call it. Yes. That is what we call structural testing at integration level. So what we do here, it is in the form of tree structure, as I told you, right? All the modules are tested. Any number of modules may be there. It is in the form of tree structure. Yes, you can call. So under application, 2 modules. Again in module 1, 2 modules. Again in module 2, 1. Again module 3, there may be any modules, and so on. It may continue. So structural testing at integration level. So we check or we test all the sub modules at the module level are considered for preparing the testing strategy there. So all the modules have to be tested. Yes, so you cannot skip any modules. That is what in the case of structural testing at integration level there. Yes, next. Yes, next is structural testing at system level. So what do you mean by structural testing at system level? You can call. So here entire software is tested here. So your entire project you developed it. Now you test it. Yes. So with all your codes, or what you can call modules, all it is integrated, then you test it. One can start with the major modules or a web page or a business process depending on the project. Yes, in whatever way you can execute that. So you can start with the one home page, or you can start with the web page, or some main modules will be there, and so on. Yes, fine. We can discuss. Yes. So entire software is tested here. So the diagram is not given as, no, it's not given here. Yes, it's missed out. Yes. Yeah, that is the above diagram. For instance, if you consider the system given in figure 1, you can start with the testing the module 1 and finally module 2. This you can consider here. So in this is the application domain. So first you execute module 1, then module 2, then again in module 1, module 3, and module 4, and so on. You can continue. Is it clear? That's all. You can continue. So for instance, if you consider system given in the figure 1, we can start with testing the module 1 and finally module 2. First, you can finish module 1, module 3, and 4. Then you can go to module or 1, 2. Anyhow, you can do it. That is left to you, the tester. So one can start with the major modules or a web page or a business process, depending on the project. Based on your requirement, you can test it. Yes, how the modules are linked, based on that, you need to test it. Yes, so this is what you call structural testing at system level. Yes, somebody go through it.
Structural testing at system level. Entire software is tested here. One can start with the major modules or a web page or a business process depending upon the project. For instance, if we consider system given in figure 1, we can start with testing module 1 and finally module 2.
So whatever you want, you can continue. So that is about the structural testing. So structural testing, there are 3 types of structural testing. Can somebody tell me that which are the 3 types of structural testing we discussed now?
Component
Yeah, structural testing at
level,
component
integration
level.
level.
Next one. Second type. What is
System
it?
level, sir.
Yes. 3 types. No, in the structural testing, we do 3 types. You see here, see structure at the code level or component level, structure at the integration level, or a structure at the system level. So structure
System level.
is system level. So 3 types of structural testing are there. Yes. So component level, integration level, and system level. What it is. So structural testing is also called as, what is called as?
White box testing.
White box
It's
testing.
also called as white box testing. Functional testing is also called as
Black box testing.
Black box testing.
yeah, functional testing is also called as black box testing. So these are the 2 types of testing what you have discussed. Next, we'll go to the next one. So what do you mean by mutation testing there? So mutants means it keeping on changing there. Like for example, our COVID virus is mutant. What is a mutant? It keeps on changing. It is not fixed there. Sometimes it behaves in some order, and after now it is behaving in some order, or again it may behave in some order. It keeps on changing. What you call mutant. We call COVID or coronavirus is a mutant. What you call, yes. So there are different what you call versions or different types of viruses there. What we can call, yes. The same way here also mutation testing. Mutants are generally or generated by slightly modifying the program. We keeping on changing the program. We keep on changing as per our requirement. We may keep it. We may keep on changing it. That is what we call mutation. Following mutation operators can be used to generate mutants. To make changes or modify the program, we can use following operators. So constant replacement, variable replacement, arithmetic operator replacement, relational operator replacement, or go to label replacement. So how we can do to change or to modify the program? We can replace the constant. Some constant you might have used, like some value, like pi is equal to 3.14 you might have defined, or you might have defined maximum array size is equal to 100. Some constant values you might have used that. So you can initially you might have defined some value, and later you may replace it with. Yes. Then variable. Suppose you might use I, J, and K variables. So you don't want to use I, J, K. You want to use some other M1, M, O or something, or P, Q, R, S something. You want to replace it. Some variable replacement you will do. And arithmetic operator replacement. So like for example, some what you can call instead of addition, you want to perform subtraction or whatever it is. So based on your requirements, you may change the what you call operator. You can change it, or so the operator maybe in the you may change the order of operator also. First you want to perform multiplication, then division, addition, and subtraction, or first you want to perform addition. That depends on your requirement. So you may replace the operator also. There all arithmetic, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, or modulus operator, whatever the operators are there, you can replace it as per your requirement there. Then relational operator. So like less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So based on your criteria, sometimes you may use less than, or sometimes you use less than or equal to, or sometimes you want to use greater than or equal to, or sometimes you want to use not equal to, whatever it is. Based on your criteria, you may replace that, the replacement. And go to label. So go to is unconditional statement. Just you go to L1, for example. L1 is a location somewhere else. So instead of L1, you want to use some M1 or some particular name you want to do that. Go to jump or go to branch 1, something like that. So you can replace. So the what do you call doing modifications? We call that as a mutant set. So this testing we call that as a mutation testing there. So mutation can be done by changing the following mutants. Which are the following mutants? Constant replacement, variable replacement, arithmetic operator replacement, relation operator replacement, and go to label replacement. Yes, somebody go through this.
Mutants are generated
Mutants
by
are
slightly
generated.
modifying the program. Following mutation operators can be used to generate mutants: constant replacement, variable replacement, arithmetic operator replacement, relational operator replacement, go to label replacement.
Go to label replacement. So we can do the changes, what you can call this. Fine. Yes, that is about your mutation testing. Next is confirmation testing. What do you mean by confirmation testing? It ensures that a defect has been fixed. So when the test engineers do the testing, they will identify the bugs. Yes, so they might identify, for example, 20 bugs. So what they will do? So the test engineers will not rectify the defects. Then who has to rectify the defects? Who will rectify the defects?
Developer.
Who?
Developer.
Developer has to rectify. The work of test engineer is just to identify the bugs or the defects. So he will identify that so many bugs are there in the program. Then your program will be sent back to the developer. He will rectify, and then again that program will be sent to the tester. Yes. Then again the tester has to test that software, and he finds out. Yes. So after what you can call, so it has to ensure that a defect has been fixed. So again, the tester has to check that whether the what do you call the bugs have been removed from the particular program. So once again, he's going to test it. That is what you call confirmation testing. So the test engineer has to that what you call check that the defect has been fixed or it has been removed. That it is carried out every time a defect is fixed, and it is also known as retesting. So confirmation testing is you identified the bug and you intimated the developer, and the developer has to he might have removed it. So you need to ensure, you need to check once again that the bug has been removed. So that is what we call confirmation testing. So it is also called as a retesting, what we call. So you're doing the testing once again to ensure that the bug has been removed, which was identified earlier, what we call. So that is what we call confirmation testing. Yes, somebody go through it.
Confirmation testing ensures that a defect has been fixed, carried out every time a defect is fixed, also known as retesting.
Also known as retesting. So that is about the confirmation testing. Yes. Next one is regression testing. What do you mean by regression testing? Testing is done whenever a change is made to the source code. Yes. So what happened? So you might have identified the bug and you sent it to the developer. What the tester will do, he will try to remove that bug, and after removing the bugs, he will send the program back to the tester. Now again, what the tester has to do, he will not check all the code that because already it has been tested. So whichever module or whichever function there was a bug, only that module is going to test it. So testing is done whenever a change is made to the source code. So what is the purpose here? So the tester has to check that if somewhere any modification the developer has done, it should not have effect on any other part of the program. So some modification if you try to do, sometime what happens, some other code it will generate the error. It happens usually sometime. So sometime you might have practiced in the lab that suppose it will showing one error. So and when you try to remove that error and you make the correction, it will show you 13 errors. It happens. That's what. So one change will have impact on other part of the program. That it will show that usually it happens in your lab. You would have seen in your data study program or ADA program. So you would have seen there's only one error showing, and you try to correct that and you correct it, it will show a n number of errors. So ensures that a change in one part of the software has no ill effect on other parts of the software. Yes, what happened when the developer does some changes, it should not have impact on the other part of the software. So the tester will check that. So when any modification has been done to the particular software, the tester has to check that no other part has been affected. There are no bugs in other parts. Yes, it uses a predefined set of test cases to carry out testing. So already you have tested this program. You know what are the test cases or what the input should be given. So when any modification has been done, then the same test cases, we're going to test it once again, so that it should not have any effect on the other part of the program. That is what we call regression testing. So here what we do, testing is done whenever a change is made to the source code, and it should ensure that a change in one part of the software has no ill effect on the other parts of the software. Then it uses a predefined set of test cases to carry out testing. What you can call it. Yes. So go through once again, somebody.
Regression testing. Testing is done whenever a change is made to the source code. Ensures that a change in one part of the software has no ill effect on the other parts of the software. Uses a predefined set of test cases to carry out testing.
Yeah. So this we call that as a regression testing. That you are testing again and again using the same set of test cases. That when any modification has been done to the software, so we do testing. That is what we call regression testing. Yes. So these are the things what we discussed in today's class. So functional testing focuses on the functionalities of the software, whereas structural testing takes into account the internal structure of the software. So we have seen in the beginning. So functional testing, where what you call the internal structure is hidden, yes, and we test the functionalities of the software, whereas the structure and functional testing is also known as black box testing. Yes, structural testing takes into account the internal structure of the software, what you call. Yes, then you have seen different types of testing there. What is that first one we discussed? Which is the first one we discussed? Which is the first type of testing? What after functional, structural, then what do you discuss? Mutation testing. Yes, mutation are used in mutation testing to make sure that the actual program works correctly. Then the confirmation testing is done to ensure that the defect has been fixed, whereas regression testing is done after a defect fix or an enhancement to confirm that the other part of the software is working correctly. So these are the things what we discussed in today's class. Yes, yes, this is the textbook what you're using it. Just once again, we go through it. That's fine. Yes, yes. Can somebody define what do you mean by functional testing? Yes, somebody define functional testing.
Testing whether the functional requirements is matching or not.
The functionality is being tested. What is hidden here? The program is hidden in the case of functional testing. Structure is not given. Yes, the structure is not given. See what you got here. We test the functionality of the program. Yes, internal structure of the program is hidden. It is also called as
Black box testing.
functional testing is also called as black box testing. Next, somebody structural testing. Others.
It generates test cases based on the knowledge of the program's internal structure.
Yeah. So based on the structure, we do testing. We call that as a structural testing. How many types are there?
Three different levels.
Which are those? Which are those?
Four levels, sir.
Which are those? Tell me.
Statement coverage, condition coverage, path coverage, and function coverage.
Yeah. No, that is first is there are three types. Yes. So what is it? Component level, integration level, and system level. Yes, different levels are structure program there. So it is also known as structural
White box
testing.
testing.
Known as.
White.
Yes. Yes. It is also known as
White box.
white box.
White box testing, sir.
Yes. Then the what you call component level, there are four types are there. Which are those?
Statement coverage, condition coverage, path coverage,
and function coverage.
Function coverage. Yes, fine. So there are 4 types are there. Next we have discussed about what you can call which is the next one. Next is your mutation testing. Yes. So the structural testing at the next is the what do you call this is integration level we do, where each module is being tested based on your requirement. You may test module 1, module 2, or module 1, module 3 and 4. Then you may go to module 2. So we need to test all the modules we have discussed. Then at the system level, entire software or your project is being executed. What you call this? That is in the case of structural testing. Next is you discuss about mutation testing. What is mutation testing? Mutation testing. Somebody else. Mutation testing.
Modifying some part of code.
Yeah, when you modify the some part of the code, you may do some changes, and we can do changes by using some of the operators. That is what we call mutation testing. What are the operators that can be used for changing?
Constant replacement, variable replacement, arithmetic operator replacement, relational operator replacement, go to label replacement.
Go to label replacement. So that is what we call mutation testing. And next one was confirmation testing. What is confirmation testing? Else somebody else.
Ensuring that the software doesn't
Others, why only
contain
few students are active there? Others, what about others? Others are sleeping. Yes. Yes. Confirmation testing. What is confirmation testing?
It ensures that the defect has been fixed,
Yes.
carried out every time that a defect is fixed, also known as retesting.
It is also known as retesting. There is confirmation testing when what you call we want to check that if there is a bug, whether that bug has been what you call rectified or not. We need to check. That is what you call confirmation testing. Then the regression testing. What do you mean by regression testing? Somebody else. Regression testing. Yes. So they are not active, I suppose. All are still in the sleeping mode. All are sleeping, I suppose.
Testing is done whenever a change is made to the source code. Ensures that a change is one part of the software has no ill effect on other part of the software. Uses a predefined set of test cases to carry out testing.
Yeah, regression testing is when you do any changes, it should not have effect on other part of the program. We do testing. That is what we call the regression testing. Yes. So these are the things what we discuss in today's class. Yes. Fine that. Any other things? Any doubts there? Yes. Any doubts? That's fine. So with this, we'll wind up the class. So thank you one and all. Fine.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.